Nobody can understand that on here. All right, so we are reviewing how to graph lines, and then we're going to talk about, from Algebra 1, maybe even pre-algebra, solving systems of equations by graphing, by substitution, and by elimination. To find the x-intercept, what do you do to the equation?
Add a 0 for y.
You make y 0. Make y 0, you solve for x. Remember, we write it as an ordered pair, x comma 0. We write it as an ordered pair. To find the y-intercept, what do you do? You make x 0. And solve for y. You write it as 0 comma y. Okay, to find the slope, we have two choices. If it's in y equals mx plus b form, it's the m, right? If it's in that form, it's the m. These two equations that I gave you to start graphing are not in that form. So you can change these equations into that form, or I can show you a faster way of finding the slope if it's in a different form. Okay? If it's in this form, this form is called standard form, which we had on a worksheet a long time ago, but we haven't really done anything with standard form. This is called standard form. Mm-hmm. You stopped, but yeah. ax plus by equals c. If it's in the form of something x plus something y equals a constant, to find the slope, you do negative the a value over the b value, and you have the slope. That's much faster than trying to make this say y equals and making silly mistakes in the process. I will show you that with these examples. But you can go do the longer way if you want. You can change it into y equals mx plus b form if you can't remember this. So equation 1. I'm just going to make like a little chart here. So our x-intercept and our y-intercept. To do our x-intercept, what do we do?
Make y.
Make y 0. So in the equation, wherever there's a y, it's now 0. X plus 2 times 0 equals 5. So I get x equals 5. My x-intercept is 5, 0. To find the y-intercept, what can we do?
Replace x for 0.
Make x equals 0. So we have 0 plus 2y equals 5. So if 2y equals 5, y is going to equal 5 divided by 2, which is 2.5. So ordered pair 0, 2.5. Or you can leave it as 5 halves. Normally I would leave it as 5 halves. Okay. I should probably put those on their little blanks. Okay, to find the slope, since it is in the standard form, I'm going to use my new formula I just gave you that says do negative a over b. In this equation, a is what number? 1. So we do negative 1 over b is what number? 2. There's my slope, negative a half. So we're going to graph that equation. 5, 0. 0, 2.5. I went the wrong way. 2.5. Now, if I want to find more points, I can put my pencil on either of these points and use the slope just like we did before. I'll just put it on this point that is an actual integer, not a fraction. I'll put it here and I'll go down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. Or I could go up 1 over 2, up 1, left 2, up 1, left 2. I could do this all day if I want, which I don't want. So I'll just use my straight edge and connect those. So now we're going to do this same stuff for equation 2. So you've practiced, if it's in standard form, we've already practiced the y equals mx plus b form. If it's in standard form, finding the x-intercept, y-intercept, and slope. So we're using equation 2. How do I find the x-intercept?
Replace the x. No, not the x. Replace the y with the x.
Right, to find any of the intercepts, you get rid of the other letter. If I want x-intercept, get rid of y. So we're going to plug in 0 for y. So x minus 0 equals -1. X is -1. So -1, 0. To find the y-intercept, we get rid of x. 0 minus y equals -1. I have to divide both sides by -1. Y is 1, 0, 1. How do we find the slope?
Do you need the negative a over
Okay. If you don't have negative a over b memorized yet, because you've only seen it once, may I suggest if you're doing this that you write the formula, then plug in the numbers, so you just kind of keep remembering it. So negative a over b. What is my a value for the equation?
1.
So -1 over, what is my b value? It is -1. Whoever said -1, yes. So negative divided by negative becomes +1. So my slope is +1. Okay, so we'll graph at -1, 0. Now let me just label this as equation 1. -1, 0, 0, 1. And then we're going to use our slope of 1, which is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. Follow the pattern. Use a straight edge. When you're not done, don't turn the page. So example 2 says, solve this system by graphing. A system is when we have multiple equations together for some reason. So I had 2 equations on the same graph. You don't know the reason because there's nothing like telling me what these numbers represent. So right now this is like meaningless numbers. We're just finding an answer. When you solve a system, graphically, it is the one point, well, it's not always one point. Graphically, it is whatever point they both have in common. Could be more than one point, but for lines, mostly just one point. We're looking at the graph. Where do they have a point in common?
1, 2.
At the ordered pair 1, 2. Now, I'm going to tell you, that is a guess. That does not mean I have the correct answer. I'm going to guess that it is at the point 1, 2. The reason why I'm guessing is because is there a chance, I know it's slight because we are all perfect, I'm sure, but is there a chance I graphed something wrong?
Yes.
Is there a chance maybe I didn't connect my line exactly where it needs to be, my ruler moved and I didn't connect it perfectly?
Yes.
Okay, so right now this is a guess. I'm going to prove that that is the right answer by checking my solution in both equations. So I have to have a check to know for sure that I am right. We're going to check in equation 1 and we're going to check in equation 2. So number 1 is x, I'll just rewrite it because I can't keep it all in the same window at the same time. My first equation is x plus 2y equals 5. So I'm going to plug in 1 plus 2 times 2 equals 5. 1 plus 4 equals 5. Does that check? Yes. I'm not done. It has to work in both or I am wrong. So my second equation is x minus y equals negative 1. I'm going to plug in 1 minus 2 equals negative 1. Does that work? Yes. If I have 2 checks, then I can say, I have found the answer. The correct answer is 1, 2. I am right. And now you can switch your page.
Do we need to put all those stars in front?
No, that's something I choose to do to make myself feel good about myself. I'm just happy I got something right for once. I make a lot of silly mistakes, so. If you want to type like your check into your calculator to check it, you just need to show me this step where you plugged it in. If you type in 1 plus 2 times 2 in your calculator because you couldn't do that by hand, fine. But at least show me the step where you are checking it. So that is how to solve by graphing. You graph them, you find results. Now, steps for substitution. Here's all the steps written out. I'm going to read these. I'm just going to do. You guys should have done substitution before. Excuse me. Let me try to zoom in a little bit more. All right, substitution starts out by you have to have one of these equations. I'll call them equation 1 and equation 2 right away so we can say organized. And organized is the key here. Trust me. I know what's coming in the future. Organization is key. I'm going to label these 1 and 2. In order to solve by substitution, one of these equations has to either be x equals or y equals. If I look at these 2 equations, right now, does one of them say either x equals or y equals? No. No? Neither of them say it right now.
Y equals.
Right now, neither of them say y equals. Which one are you talking about? So I can. Are you talking about the second one? Oh, which we will do elimination next. Okay. Which elimination is way more my favorite, but we cover both. When you get to pre-calc or whatever course you take next, sometimes you can't use elimination, so we have to know how to do both. Substitution. We need to set one of these, either x equals or y equals. Does somebody have an idea? Because there is not a wrong answer, however, there is some that are shorter. Does anybody have an idea which equation I should change? There's not a wrong answer. Equation 2, yes. What should I make it say? X equals or y equals? Y equals. Because in order to do that, we only have one step. Let's add x to both sides. My room is hot. I don't know what's going on, but if you have a sweatshirt, you can take it off. Oh my gosh, I'm hot. Dakota's over there like, huh? Oh, well, that's unfortunately your problem.
Oh, you got the sweat stains.
Hey, that's fine. Let's keep going. So I solved equation 2, and here's my new equation 2. It's the exact same equation, just in a different form. But we now have what y equals. So this is what y equals. When we have substitution, we're going to put what y equals into the other equation for y. we're going to replace what y equals in the other equation for y. We're basically going to put equation 2 inside of equation 1. So I'm going to write that as x plus 3 parenthesis x minus 3 equals 3. So I took out the y and I substituted what y equals, x minus 3. When you do that, you should only have x's left, meaning I can solve for x. No, because technically it's both equations. Because like this was one, but we stuck 2 inside, so it's both of them. Now I'm going to distribute to get rid of that parenthesis. We'll have x plus 3x minus 9 equals 3. You're going to combine like terms. X plus 3x is how many x's? X plus 3 more x's is 4 x's minus 9. And I'm going to add 9 to both sides. We're solving for x. 4x equals 12. Then I'm going to divide by 4. I get x equals 3. And I solve for x. When we are done, we're going to have an ordered pair. Is this an ordered pair? No, this is just the x value that they share in common. So what we do next is we're going to plug in, and you can pick which equation you want to plug it into. I'm just going to pick equation 1. You can pick which one you want to use. I'm going to use equation 1. We're going to plug in 1. So we have 3 plus 3y equals 3. Now we're going to solve for y. Subtract your 3 from both sides, and I get 3y equals 0. Divide by 3. We get y equals 0. So now I have both x and y. We've already used equation 1. So now, at my last step, I cannot use equation 1. I now have to use equation 2. We're going to plug in equation 2. Your last steps, you use both equations for. So I just plugged in 1. I now have to plug in 2. So negative, and then my x was a 3, plus 0 equals negative 3. Does that check? Yes. So because I got a check, I know I have the right answer, and I write as an ordered pair, 3, 0. You do need to do this last step where you plug in 1, check in 2 thing. We're going to do it again. Again, Algebra 1 review. Think you're lost. This is not pre-algebra, my dear. Just wait till what we do next week. Oh, you mean what we're doing right now is pre-algebra? Yeah, it could be for some people.
I did it in 7 and 8.
So even easier. Look at the next one. We need to have either x equals or y equals in either equation 1 or equation 2. What should we do?
Well, no. Yeah, wait, well, hold on.
Speak up, Joyce. Number 2's already done. I'm not going to
Yeah, do
try another one. Like it's already there, y equals. I'm not going to do extra work. So number 2 already has y equals, so I don't have to do extra work. Yay! I'm going to take what y equals, and I'm going to replace y in equation 1. I'm going to put them inside of each other. I'm going to use both equations at the same time. X plus 2, parenthesis, 3x minus 14, close parenthesis, equals 14. So you have to distribute. Question? Nope. Okay. You have to distribute x plus 6x minus 28 equals 14. I'm going to add together x and 6x together. I'm going to add those together. I've just said that word like 3 times in a row. Something's bothering me. I want to cover up that first work. Nope. Cover up that first work. Oh, that looks less confusing. Okay. So I'm going to add together my like terms, and I get 7x minus 28 equals 14. add 28. We get 7x equals 42, thank you. Divide by 7, x is 6. All right, I found x. Dakota.
Plug it, I'm guessing you added x and 6, x was 1.
Yes, exactly. So x is just something I have. I don't know what it is. It's something I have. And the number in front tells me how many I have. So since there's not a number there, it's one of them. So this would be like if I had an apple and I added 6 more apples, I would now have 7 apples. So after we find the first variable, now we do plug in 1, check in 2. Once you have the first variable, plug in 1, check in 2. So plug in 1, 6 plus 2 times, it's 2y, equals 14. So subtract 6, 2y is 8, divide by 2, y is 4. So I did plug in 1, now I do check in 2. So 4 equals 3 times 6 minus 14. 4 equals 18 minus 14. Is that true? 4 equals 18 minus 14. Is that true? Yes. Probably it is. So my answer is going to be x is 6, y is 4. Can you try the student practice? Go. I'm going to pause the video. Go. I'll pull out my special pen today.
That is special.
I do. It's this pen that if you get the right answer, it puts a smiley face on your paper. It's pretty amazing.
But I can't have no.
Oh shoot, that's me. You're right. You're right. So bad. I don't know how to do my first name, so I just write out my change. See that? It changes as it runs. So basically, the rest, that's my change. Just like
And I thought my rate was the whole time. Because you don't know it.
What is the answer? It is a what is that? What was? I have it. Oh, you have it. What is that thing? It's contract. It is the quarter pair. Right, that's what it is. So that's what happening. I'll be there in a moment. My pen will be there in a moment.
Did this check? Yeah. Where's your plug-in
I
one?
do J's, so that's
Where's the
like that.
plug-in one stuff? Where's that? Found two.
Yeah, I used it and I plugged in the 2Y with the S.
No, it's not here. You got this, and we solved it, and we got white. Right? Then you took this. Where's your second step? After you found the first two, where's your
I just didn't like.
Okay, so you plugged it into here. That means you have to check it. You don't have to. If you plugged in here, you have to check it in here. I'm always going to do two, and then you did two.
I
have the wire.
I don't know. I don't have enough.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah, and for tonight's earnings, do it on paper. So you made a mistake, but what I'm trying to tell you is that if you plug in one of the equations and you check the other equation, you will find out everything.
Yes.
You plug in and check in the same equation, you won't know you made a mistake until I look at it. So what your mistake was,
last season.
besides that, is your negative. It's so easy. That's why we have to plug in one, check it two. You don't have this in the correct format. Or you
well, I got
it didn't check. That means you don't have the right answer. That means you probably made a tiny little silly mistake. Okay.
TV show. There's a second movie too. It's actually
You have a negative 4 and a positive y.
You Snapchat your everything. You don't even need.
It is here, but
Okay, I am having very good conversations with some of you because you're accidentally making the mistakes that's gonna happen. If you forget a negative, or if you distribute incorrectly, you're not going to get the right answer and it's not going to check. There is a reason why we plug in 1 and check in 2, because it is so easy to make a tiny little mistake on these. And I'm pretty sure that you want, my finger's still there. Oh no, it's paused. It's paused.
What is counting?
I know it counts.
Oh,
I know it
okay.
counts. And if it's still recording, whatever. What was I saying though? Oh, you're going to want to get 100% on this. It's possible to get 100%, so you're going to want to know that your answer is not correct. Okay, so if it did not check, where's your answer? That's a check. That's not your answer. That's That's another thing people tell me. I'm going to say that too. If it did not check, that means you made a silly mistake somewhere. If you look up here, I will tell you some people will get an answer right here where it says 4 equals 4, and then they'll circle that's their answer, 4 equals 4. That's not the answer. Drake, how do we write our answer? I don't think everybody could hear you.
Huh?
How do we write the answer?
Like as the point form?
In an ordered pair form. If you have x equals over here and y equals down there, you're not going to get full credit. It has to be an ordered pair. Okay? We're going to try elimination method as well. This answer was 4, -2.
We got one of those races.
I have this that you can borrow. Good catch.
I have no erasers at all. I have none at home. I have none at home.
Okay. Then we have, this is the last thing today, we have elimination. Elimination. Are you ready to eliminate? Oh my gosh, math is so fun. Quit talking about the other problem. Let's move on. You don't have time to practice tonight. You can go re-watch this movie, this video if you want. Okay, I thought maybe you'd bring it to the football game and like in between. Okay. You know, I have no idea what today is, so.
I'll do it and take a picture and send it to you.
That'd be awesome. Tweet it out. All right, we're doing elimination. Elimination is my favorite. Don't know about yours, but it's my favorite. Elimination is you're going to line up your x's, line up your y's, line up your equal signs, and line up your numbers. Then what you're going to do is you're going to add up the equations. Hopefully, something eliminates. And if not, we'll manipulate the equations and make this happen. If I add these together, what happens to x plus negative x? Eliminated.
See, this is why I like elimination, because like
I like elimination. What is 3y plus y? 4y. And what's 3 plus negative 3? 0. So divide by 4, and we get y equals 0. We have our first variable. Now the rules go back to the exact same rules substitution was. Once you have the first variable, plug in 1. So y is 0. X plus 3 times 0 equals 3. So x equals 3. And then check in 2. Once you have the part where it eliminates and you get one answer, you just go back to the same thing we were just doing for substitution. Plug in 1, check in 2. So I'm going to check in 2 by doing negative 3 plus 0 equals negative 3. Does that work? That's not a check. Yes, it works. So my answer, Simrat, my answer, is it 3 equals 3?
No.
Do you know what the answer is, Simrat? I don't know if I went too fast for you, hon. Three is correct. Where's my y value? 3, 0. Okay, so we write our answer as 3, 0 in an ordered pair, because on the graph, this is where they would cross, and that's what we're finding. We're just doing it without having to graph it. Let's do another one, elimination number 2. If I go ahead and equation 1, equation 2, I'm going to add those both together. X plus 2x is 3x. 2y plus y is... Did I eliminate something? Then you can't do elimination yet. You have to completely eliminate one of the variables to use elimination. Since nothing eliminates the way it is, I'm going to manipulate this. There's a rule in math that says as long as you do things, whatever you want, to both sides of the equation, doesn't matter what you do, it's going to still be equal. As long as you do to both sides of an equation. So if I look at my x's, or if I look at my y's,
we gotta equal all the whole.
you just have to get rid of one of them.
You gotta equal both.
No, we just have to, I'm sorry?
You gotta equal both equations. If you put one equation on one side,
No, that's substitution. You're thinking of substitution. I'm going to do elimination. I'm going to do elimination. What I'm going to do is I'm going to either make my x's cancel out, or I'm going to make my y's cancel out. For this one, I'm going to make my y's cancel out. But it is really your choice. So I'm going to cancel out my y's. I'm going to eliminate my y's. I'm going to even write this down so you guys know what I'm doing. Eliminate the y. How? I'm going to take my second equation and I'm going to multiply everything by what number? Will positive 2 work? Negative 2. So I am going to stay organized and I'm going to rewrite both equation 1 and write my new equation 2. And I'm telling you that right now, and some people are going to be lazy, then they're not going to do it, and then they're going to make mistakes. Just do it. Just rewrite it. I'm telling you, just rewrite it. I don't want you to do all this work and then do the check and find out you made a silly mistake somewhere because you didn't recopy an equation. So I recopied equation 1. I put my new equation 2. Then I'm going to add them together. Do the y's eliminate now? 2y plus negative 2y, eliminate. They cancel each other out. So then what's x plus negative 2x? That's negative 1x, right? You don't have to put the 1. 14 plus negative 8 is 6. So divide by negative 1, and I get negative 6. Once you have your first variable, what do we do? Plug in 1. So we have negative 6 plus 2y equals 14. Add 6. 2y is 20. Y is 10. Did I make any mistakes? I went fast. Oh, I guess I'll find out if I made a mistake. Check in 2. 2 times negative 6.
Checking the original too.
If you just used number 1. Yeah, I'm sorry. Check in the original. 100%. Check in the original. Don't go back and check in the new one. Check in the original. Okay. Thank you. That's another thing where I talked to you about how you checked it wrong. That's another thing where people will check it wrong and not find their mistake. Check in the original. What is it? Plus y is 10, equals 4. So I get negative 12 plus, oh no.
Yep.
I have a mistake.
Mistake's supposed to be positive.
You did multiply out the negative 2 to the 2x.
The negative 2 to the 2x.
When you multiply it to...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Why didn't you say something like a long time ago?
I thought that I was wrong.
That's okay, because guess what? Your teacher is human and makes lots of mistakes. And as soon as she checked her answers, now I know I'm wrong. Good lesson.
Because you put some grass and then you made it.
Hey, this is why we take our time and not rush through things, too. Hey, I just did it. Guess how many times you are going to do it? I'm just saying. I just made that mistake. So what Chris said is I forgot to take, when I distributed, I forgot negative 2 times 2, which is negative 4.
Oh, dang it.
Hey, like I just said, you guys are going to do this probably 10 times as much as me, so. Negative 3x equals 6. Divide by negative 3. X is negative 2. I totally did that on purpose, just to show you what happens when you make when you do something wrong.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's like, nope, but I took it out because it's...
Nobody can see what my face looks like on the camera. So we're going to plug in negative 2. All right, we're going to plug it into equation 1. Negative 2 plus 2y equals 14. Add 2. Sorry, now I'm starting to hurry again. 2y equals 16. Y is 8. Check in 2. So 2 times negative 2 plus 8 has to be 4. Negative 4 plus 8 is 4. Yes, this time it checked, finally. Yes, it does?
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Negative 2, 8 is my answer. We're not going to have time to record the last one, but on the back is your assignment. I don't know. On your back is the assignment, and also on the back is like how to do everything, more examples. You cannot fit this on the paper. You have to do this on your own paper.
I'll show you. Bro, I don't like worksheets. I don't like.
I do have graph paper for you. So like the first 4 are graphing, I do have graph paper for you.